Hey guys, Jason Nedved here again with Nedved Precision Shooting. We have the truck and trailer hooked up, you see there. We are at another match, another weekend, another match. We are at Buffalo Butte Ranch. It is a gorgeous place right up here. They have, over there they have 100 yards, and then up the hill near them trees up there, you have a nice little placard that goes out to, I think, 1,400 yards. So that's been really nice, and got some guys showing up. You can see I got the trailer hooked up. I'm getting my dope out, or not my dope, but getting my ranges and all that stuff figured out for all the stages, getting them wrote on my dope cards. About 16 degrees this morning, but there's hardly any wind, so it feels really good. Out on top of that hill there, when I was shooting, it was just left 2-3 tenths at 750, and then at 1100 or 1026 or something like that, I was having to hold right about 3 tenths. So going from left to right, it's going to be a fun, interesting day. It's going to be some tough competition here, but it should be a good time. Just finished up here at Buffalo Butte Ranch. I think I shot all right. I don't know how well that's going to work out, but I think I shot all right, but it was definitely a good match. I do suggest you come to this match if you have the opportunity. It is, April 1st is time frame. So the guys are giving me a hard time about me having the tablet and changing the scores, but I shot an 82. We'll see how that goes. I got first in my squad, but that's just my squad. So we're gonna head over to the awards and see how it shakes out. But yeah, like I was saying, definitely if you have an opportunity to come to this match, come to it. Had 10 great stages, from skinny targets, big animal targets, to massive targets out to 1,300 yards we were shooting, but no one in my squad hit it. But yeah, I think I've only taken my rifle out to 1,100 yards. So that was a bit of a stretch, only 200 yards, but God, no one's seen it where it went or anything. But let's see how it shakes out. We'll see you in the debrief. All right, guys, let's go over the match debrief of this Buffalo Butte Ranch. Like I said before, it was a great match. They had some great barricades, some prone in there. They had skeety targets, they had large targets, they had some sporty targets. So it was a good match. So let's get into it. Stage 1 was barricade BS. That was a big and a small. So they had a kind of a PRS barricade deal with a bunch of little squares in it. And with that, I had the idea, we read it several times, if I'm thinking of the right one. It said 5 different positions going across, right? And then you had a large diamond and a small diamond. Said unlimited equipment, so what do? We use a tripod as rear support. We borrowed a mag and a plate, put that on the front of our gun. We didn't want it right behind the mag well, because then you got to put your rifle in further. When you run rear support, you don't necessarily need that. So we ran that out, and then ran tripod rear support. Went pretty well. Got an 8 out of 10 on that one, but I did pull one on the large diamond. It did go high, so that was on me. But everything else went fine, so it cost me a point there, but still got an 8 out of 10. Stage 2 is bales. So they had 3 bales kind of stacked up like this here. And you had targets. Sorry, the first one was at 399. Then you had targets 19 through 23. ranging from 376 to 766. So that one was good. You had diamonds there, and then you had 2/3 dipsticks for the last two. Got a 9 out of 10 on that one. What we did learn on this one was you are pressed for time. And talking to the match director, he said it was a happy accident. I really liked it because you had to shoot once, all 5 targets going out, and then move to the other bale. So you're shooting off of this bale, shooting all these targets just once, going out, and then you got to go around to this other bale, the 3rd bale, and shoot off of that one from far to near. And that was going out to 766. And the first couple of guys in the squad, they timed out. So it was, you got to be drowning on the spot, get on that target and send it. So that's what I did. I pressed hard. I missed one of the further targets due to wind. When I got to the match today, it was about 16 degrees, but it was starting to warm up pretty quick. But it was really low winds this morning. It was around 2 to 3 on our first stage, and then it just kept increasing throughout the day. We got up to 11 was the max it got, so that's completely doable. But yeah, bales went well. A lot of people timed out in my squad, like I said, but just getting out there, and it was a good pan from left to right and then coming back. So yeah, it was good. Grassy prone. This one was one of the prone stages. Got another 9 out of 10. I just could not clean one. No, it was just kind of that wind. You miss and then you kind of correct. You had targets 1 through 5, but you were going from 411 yards to 1132. I think it was target 4 that I missed on that one at 926. You missed the first shot and then was able to follow up. Because you could kind of see your impact in the mud. It did start thawing out because when we were done here, I think when I left, it was like 51 degrees and 11 mile per hour wind, so it wasn't bad following. It was worth the drive. Icy roads on the way there because we had an ice storm the night before. My trailer was completely frozen shut. I couldn't open the doors, couldn't move the hitch. It was a miss. Stage 4 was precision equipment. So this one was good. So you had old farm equipment, old heavy duty farm equipment, 3 different sets of it. So you started on the left set, then you had to go left, center, right at 412, 296, and then 389. So what I did is I held over because you had to move 3 different targets, shoot 1 each. So left, center, right on this piece of equipment. Then you had to move to the next piece of equipment and do right, center, left, and then move to the next piece of equipment and do left, center, right. So in doing so, that was a lot of movement with a lot of targets. So I dialed, I think, a mil and then held over the rest of it. That worked out pretty well. Dropped 1, and that was the very last shot. I was excited and then shaked it right off the right, just barely off the right. But also the guys were saying the wind did pick up quite a bit, and I was on the right side of the plate earlier. And so I think I pulled it. Could have been a wind, combination of both, who knows. But could have cleaned it, but I left the window open just a little bit on that one. But it was good. I did enjoy that heavy equipment. But I did, on that center piece of equipment, there was a left side and a right side that you could get on, and I went on the left side. I lay down on the rifle, or not lay down, it's barricade. Get down on the rifle and look, and all I see is this bush. Well, it's not gonna work, it's not 22 where I'm parking way over it or anything like that. So I didn't want to risk it, so I got up real quick and moved to the next one. But that was good, just something different, different type of barricade. So then you had barrels are better than 1. Well, or 2 barrels are better than 1. So this was interesting. Something I haven't had before. So it was worth 12 points. Well, you had 10 rifle rounds and you had a shotgun. It was a shotgun stage. So your first 2 shots were with the shotgun and over under.
So you laid your rifle down on a bench, and they had a target array. I think it was target number 18, and they had targets going across. So it was all just one range. But you shot the shotgun first on time. And if you hit both clay pigeons, you can leave your rifle sitting on the bench and you shoot from that. So it's basically a modified prone. And then if you hit one clay pigeon, 1 out of 2 clay pigeons, then you had to go to this kind of shorter tank trap deal that I found out was very stable because I use tripod rear. And then if you miss both clay pigeons, which nobody did I don't think anybody did in my squad. I don't think anybody did. Then you have to run even further down the line to this third tank trap that was just a mess. And when I looked at it, it didn't look like, because, you got to have your oh shit plan of what if I do get both clays, I shoot from here, this is where the sight picture's at. If I miss one clay, this is my sight picture, because it was angled differently. And then if I miss both clay pigeons, I haven't shot a shotgun for a couple of years. Then you gotta go all the way down. I just wanted to get a sight picture because of where the targets were. They were that 688, so they were down there a little ways, and with the mirage and the ground warming up and everything, it was mirage-y, that's for sure. So I was trying to get a sight picture of all of it, but it didn't look like you could go on the center of that tank trap, of that third tank, or the third barricade, the second tank trap. The first tank trap looked really solid. You got a good sight picture, and you're able to use tripod rear just because of the way it was angled. So that worked out really well, because I missed the second clay pigeon. The first clay pigeon, I waited apparently forever because the safety was on the shotgun, which it should have been, but I just forgot to click it off. And so went to pull it, nothing, flipped the safety out the bow, hit it, and then moved to the second one that was already up there and missed that one. So ran over the first tank trap and used tripod rear and was able to get a 9 out of 12. I missed 2 rifle shots on that one. One was because I thought I seen it hit the edge of the plate. So the next smaller target, I moved over just a little bit, and then it went off the other side. So just getting my weight correction, and then I missed on one of the small ones. See. That was stage 5. Stage 6, gooseneck prone. That one was interesting because you were shooting from 400 yards out to 1,345. I got a 7 out of 10. Shooting's target 11 to 16. So 11 was five shot KYL, I believe it was. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, 5 shot KYL. So large to small at 400 yards, just boom, boom, boom. That was over here. Then you had target 12, which went almost 90 degrees. It was basically 90 degrees. It felt like 90 degrees off the back of the trailer to shoot your other targets 12 through 16. That was at 830, 836, 11, 12, 11, 13, and 1345. So that was a lot of fun because you had your different wins. You had this KYL target way over here, and then you had to transition way over here. They were very gracious targets. I should not have missed target 12. It was just big, massive circle. How big was it? If he's got it here, 24-inch target, and I missed off the left. So I just had too much wind dialed in. Had to go to a column 1, not 2. So missed that somehow, disappointed myself, but it is what it is. So I got 7 out of 10 on that one. Stage 7, couldn't get him any closer. Send it. This one I got a 9 out of 12. So you were on their fence of a lodge, 4 different positions, and going up, shooting up, you had these coyotes, 3 coyotes up there, 50, 51, 52, and they were all at 237, 310, and 300. So what I did there is I dialed for the first one, shot that, and then held over a 1/2 mil for the second one, and held over 4/10 on the other one. The further down the fence you went, the shakier I got, and this was a 12-round stage. A couple guys did time out. I have my 12 round mag, so I just shoved 12 in there, and then that first one's a little difficult to get in, but I was not going to do a mag change or use my match saver, so put 12 in there, just held over because of the 4 different positions, 3 different targets. You went from left to right, move, right to left, move, left to right, move, and then right to left to finish it off. Coyote stages, the first one was Halloween one, so you didn't have a huge wide target like typical coyotes. And then the other 2, they were wide. But those were I was doing the holdover. I had about 8 to 10 seconds left, if I remember right. If I would have dialed, I think I would have done better, but trying to hold over and try to find your half mil mark and your 6/10 mark just messes with me, and it's not like I do it very often. So it's just, but dialing, there's no way you would have had time. No way. Then stage 8, the prairie dogs. That was a good one because it was 208 to 420, 5 different prairie dogs, just double tap each near to far. So you find that first one and shoot that. And then the wind was coming from 3 o'clock at the time. And that's another thing I liked about this match is you were shooting both directions. So it wasn't a 3 o'clock wind all day. It wasn't, we had 12 o'clock wind, we had 11:30 wind, we had 3 o'clock wind, 4 o'clock wind, then we had 9 o'clock wind, and even a 6:30 wind in there somewhere too. So it was good. It wasn't just your square range where you're shooting out that way and you just keep going that way and your wind's the same all day. So that was good. But this prairie dog stage, what you needed to notice was your first 2 targets was completely exposed to the wind. Your last 3 targets were not. They were blocked by this hill. And so what we learned, and I got a 7 on it. I wish I could reshoot it. I wanted a mulligan on it so bad because I knew exactly where they went off. I had 2/10 dialed in the gun to the right because when it was at 3 o'clock at 8 miles per hour, let's say. So I just had 2/10 dialed into the gun, and I was just going to run that same all the way because of this hill. Well, that hill blocked a lot more than what we were expecting. So the further you went out, usually you put more wind on it. I just kept it dialed in at 2/10, put it center of the prairie dog. I kept going off of the right on the last 3 targets. So it was impact, 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 miss, impact, miss, impact, miss, impact. Got a 7 on it because they kept going off the right. So 2/10s on these skinny little prairie dogs at 300 to 420 yards was just too much. I wish I could have shot it again because then I would have done 2/10, and then held straight up, held straight up, held straight up. Because 2/10 on a prairie dog, if you're missing off of that, it just had to be just off the edge of those narrow little targets. So, yeah, I wish I had a mulligan on that one. Then you had stage 9. This is where we started for the day. Usually, my first stage of the day is I got the jitters, until I pull that trigger for the first time. I'm going to be nervous. I don't know why, but it's just, I just need to pull that trigger just once. Just get that first round out there and figure out where it goes. Even though I sighted in beforehand, I just wanted, I don't know, it happens to me every time. But anyway, so this is where we started and I cleaned it. So I was happy. We started on a relatively easy stage. Obviously it's the only one I cleaned. So 27 through 31, you're shooting it at a bobcat, a buffalo, a raccoon, and a raccoon-shaped steel from 245 yards out to 490. And they had this nice big rock there. So you started a little bit behind the rock, and because of the weather we had to clear out the snow around it because it was there. You weren't going to find your brass. You were going to be over ankle deep. You're not just where your Solomons. So yeah, it was going to be a mess, but we cleared out all the snow so we could find our brass at least. And yeah, I didn't use a rear bag. I didn't tripod it because of the angle the rock was. I didn't think it would be possible or it'd be really difficult and you'd just be messing around with your equipment. So it was just 2 shots at each near to far. And it was a good, was it near to far? Yeah, near to far basically. And it was just nice big targets, a good confidence booster right off the bat. So it was good to have a stage clean right away in the morning for our first stage. And then a lot of my squad mates, they were able to get 9s out of it. So it was a good start for us. Then number 10, Hilltop Prone was my lowest score. I got a 6 on that one. That was going from 560 to 1050. I don't know. I hit the first 3 targets, just boom, 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 boom. And I never touched play after that, So I go from cleaning a stage down to a 6 and just kind of kicked me in the nuts there. But you even had full lip 6 at 931, 990, and 1050, and I could not. No idea. No clue. I hit the 12-inch, hit the 20-inch, but couldn't find anything past 900 or so. A little nervous there, but I ended up turning out all right. So that one was just, I like how he had the targets, they were red or started out red. He had that identified in the matchbook. But stage 10, you were like down and to the right, and then you went up over here, or no, then you went a little bit up the left, then you went way over here, and then you went back over and shot straight up. The IP6 were all in the line, so that wasn't bad. But like I said, it was a really good match. You guys should definitely hit that up. It was great. Like I also said, I got a 82 out of 101, I think it was, and that's including the 2 shotgun shots. Lonnie got first, and then second. Don't remember his name. I can see him. Don't remember his name. And then they had a tiebreaker for third, and that was on the flatbed, the gooseneck. So that was that long range one with the KYL rack right there. So that was your tiebreaker stage, and I think I said I got a 7 on that one. So ended up taking home some hardware. So got that. So tied for third and fourth, but since I did well on that long range gooseneck, even though I missed that massive target, I don't know how, there must have been a lot less wind down there than I thought, that's for sure. But yeah, really good match. And I'm going to say it again, guys. If you have not shot that one, go shoot that. That's a great setup match. The scenery was great. The angles you were shooting, like the coyotes, you were shooting straight up. The prairie dogs, you were shooting up. And then going down to the flat bottom stuff that you're shooting straight out. And he was obviously able to get some distances. And even the 0 range getting there, please get there early enough, because he had 100 yards. And then he had steel going out to 1,300 and some yards. And they had these nice little placards where the targets are circled and pictured, and it was very well set up. It flowed well. He did have to postpone it in an hour. It was supposed to start at like 9:30, but because of the weather, he did push it back to 10:30, so everybody could have time to get out there with getting the plows out on the roads. They weren't bad leaving Mitchell going down there, but I know there was, I forgot how many people he said had to call and bail out because the weather was just so bad, because the interstate was closed to the west of me, and then to the north it was pretty rough. Good match. I suggest you go to that one. Centerfire match. I used my 6 dasher in the red JE. Balanced well, ran well, shot well, obviously. The only time I missed is because it was being the longer range stuff. I'm sure it was wind, it wasn't elevation. So you just got to have that confidence in your rifles that it's always wind, not elevation. So yeah, good match. And if you like this kind of content, like the video, put a comment on there, what you think or what your favorite stage was if you were at that match, or, just anything helps the algorithm. So yeah, like, subscribe, all that stuff, and we'll see you at the range.